All right, we're live. Welcome to another episode of Forge Father FM. I am Adam, and I am here with another success interview with my man Frank. Frank, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Adam. How are you tonight?
Pretty
I'm excited to
good.
be here.
Yeah, great. I'm excited to interview another man with an epic beard. I got to say, I've been doing this program for a few years now, and there have been quite a few epic beards that have come through, and I'm always very happy to see one. So,
Well,
welcome
I
aboard.
appreciate that. It doesn't come without its challenges and the work to put into it. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're a daring man doing this relatively soon after dinner time too. So hopefully
yeah,
you.
yeah. I think I'm good. I don't think I got anything in it.
All right, no snacks for later. All right, we're good. So Frank, why don't you just give us a little brief introduction, who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff.
So yeah, I'm Frank Guerreri. Born and raised in New York City, Staten Island. Uh, Moved down to North Georgia in 2005. Came down here with my mother and my brother. We didn't really have anything holding us back in New York. Plus, it was just really expensive. It's just expensive to live in the Northeast.
Yeah, sure.
So, we came down to Georgia, and we have cousins that live just about 25 minutes away from us. So we just settled down here and, really haven't looked back. And I have to say, as besides the scorching heat that we get in the summertime down here, I liked living in Georgia. It's just close enough to this Atlanta where I am that I can still get the feel of the city, but stay, away from the craziness.
Awesome. Yeah, I
So,
feel you. I feel you there. And sorry, my little kiddo decided to
oh, you're good.
run for a second. So no, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so that's where you're from and everything. How long have you been with the program now? Has it been about a year or so, or a little more?
Almost. July will be a year that I've been with Forge Father now.
Awesome, awesome. So how did you stumble across Travis?
So I am very active in CrossFit. I'm very active in just following different fitness individuals that I just look up to. And I came across his stuff because I was looking up the company On It. And apparently the algorithms hit. And being that Travis either is or used to be affiliated with On It, his stuff started popping up on my Facebook and on my Instagram. And his videos and just some of his testimonials that he would put out there about the busy fathers and, that they're able to continue to hit their goals individually but also still maintaining good relationships with their spouses and with their kids. It turned me on to wanting to find out more information. And I tried to not look at it because I was like, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to accomplish these things while still, being a father and all? And finally, I talked to my wife. I was like, I'm really interested in just calling these guys, seeing what the deal is. And she's like, hey, no matter what it is, whatever they say, if you decide you want to do it, we'll make it work, whatever it'll be. And so I put in an application, went through the website. I did my research. I checked out the website. I checked out Instagram. I checked out Facebook. I was going YouTube. I was going through it all. So when I went and finally filled out my form, like I was contacted pretty quickly. And I talked to Christian for an onboarding session. And just in talking with him, I was still hesitant in if I was going to do this or not. And finally, after talking with Christian for a while, I was like, you know what do I have to lose? I don't have anything to lose, but I have everything to gain. So I pulled the trigger. I was like, let's go. Let's do this. And, it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, absolutely, man. On the On It thing, I think Travis I think he maybe posted a couple articles back in the day on their website, maybe something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So that's probably why he's connected there. No, that's great. So what kind of place were you in physically, emotionally, mindset wise when you joined the program? I guess talk about where you were and what's changed.
So So I lost a lot of weight back in, when did I start? 2012. I was just about 300 pounds back in 2012. I had a bad bout of food poisoning, and I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. That was like a trigger point for me. So for a full year, all I did is walk and run. I would just leave my house, I'd walk, I would give myself distances. I'm going to run to this mailbox. I'm going to run to that light pole. And I would just do that for a year. I lost 70 pounds doing that.
Wow.
And then I was like, okay, now I got to get into a gym. So I went into just a local 24-hour gym, was doing that for a little bit. But in 2017, I got turned on to CrossFit. And that there like blew my world open. And I've been doing CrossFit now since then. I still do it to this day. I'm a CrossFit L1 coach, so I coach there periodically during my weeks, and I work out there as well as work out at home. So I'm all over the place. But during that time, in the beginning of 2020, just before COVID hit, I was on vacation with a couple of buddies, and we went to a jump park. My idea. So I take full responsibility. It was my idea. We went to a jump park, and they had a ninja course there. So I was like, all right, awesome. Let's run the ninja course. I'm the first one up. I complete the entire course. I get to the warped wall at the end, and I go and plant on my right foot to jump to grab the wall, and I snap my Achilles.
Oh.
And I have it on video. You can clearly hear it snap. When it happened, I didn't feel anything on my leg. I thought I ran through a hole in the floor. Somehow or another, there was a hole in the floor. But
Yeah.
snapped my Achilles, down and out. I was off my leg for about 10 weeks. And then in a walking boot after that for another 4.5 weeks. And because of that, it really started getting me depressed about my body. I obviously put on weight because I couldn't do much of anything, and I was depressed of it. So I wasn't watching what I was eating. I was just sitting around the house doing whatever I can do. Once I was healed up and I was able to go back to gym, I was going through the motions, but I was completely unmotivated to do anything. I would pick and choose what days I was going to go work out, depending on what the workout was. I was really bad about cherry picking things. And 2020 was my best year and my worst year at the same time, because I had my injury. I had these depression points that I'm going through in my mind, but I also got married to my wife in 2020, and we bought a house in 2020. So I had a lot of good things happening, but a lot of bad things mentally happening as well.
Yeah.
And that it coincided also with some like family drama that we dealt with during our wedding time, that it really put me in a more depressing state. I was eating whatever I wanted. I was drinking heavily a lot of the time, and I ended up ballooning up back close to 240. And I hadn't been that heavy since I started my weight loss journey back in 2012. So that was around the time that I was looking at Forge Father, and I was like, I need to make a change. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm a coach, so I need to be an example to my athletes that are looking up to me. You know, they're seeing me struggling, going through these things, and I'm like, I can't do this to myself. You know, I got to get better for myself, for my wife, for my kids, and for my athletes at my gym. So contacting Travis and getting into this program and going this, starting my journey here, like, it relaunched who I am and what I'm meant to do and what I'm here to do. So long story short, it brought me back. It brought me back to where I want to be. And, humble brag, I'm crushing workouts. I'm lifting heavier than I did before my injury. I'm hitting new personal records that I didn't do pre-injury. And I thought at that time, before I got injured, I was the fittest, that I ever been. and it shows me now that I'm even more fitter than I now than I was back then. And it's funny because I weigh more now than I did then. But it just comes to show you that, you know, the weight isn't always the thing to look at. And I was really bad about that for a long time, just looking at the number. I was like, it's not so much the number, it's how you feel and how you look, more so than the number. But finding Forge Father was a godsend, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing story right there. Yeah, and we say that with a lot of guys coming into the program, they get so focused on just that number on the scale, and that's one measurement, that's one part of the whole picture. And it can be important, you know, if you're 300 pounds and you need to lose, you know, a serious amount of body fat. Obviously, a lot of that is body weight, but at this point, you know, if you're packing on muscle, if you're doing the training, you're fueling right, and you're packing on muscle and feeling great, you know, you're not going to be a lightweight by any means. So
yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. So I guess stepping into the program, when you jumped on in, you started out, you had the foundation for, what is it, around 12 weeks, somewhere around there?
Yeah, 12 weeks. I was doing foundation work. And so, you know, I'm doing the same workouts week by week, just building my foundation up. And with me, I like variety. I really like variety on things.
Yeah.
And, you know, I started talking to Travis more one-on-one. I was like, dude, when can I do more? When can I get some different stuff? And I think he saw what I was looking for. And so he jumped me past some of my foundational periods, and I got right into our uncommon programming. And so I do uncommon programming, but I also do the programming at my gym as well. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth with everything that we do. And, you know, during the foundational time, I did find a lot of humbling moments, because I think one of the days it was just to run a mile. And, you know, well, years ago, I was running, you know, 7.5-minute miles. And then this day I did a mile in 9:53. I was like, what the hell happened? You know?
Oh yeah.
So those foundational times were hard, but they were really good for me to show me, okay, you did this to yourself. So like, I was almost paying my penalties during foundation deck. You did this to yourself. So now the foundational work that used to be easy to you, now you're getting slapped in the face with it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Travis always talks about what is your truth, and the truth right now can be really hard to look at for some guys, for all of us. Some, you know, running speed, it's like use it or lose it, right? If you're not running,
it goes away. It goes away quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You can get it back. It hurts a little bit, but you can get it back.
Just got to put that work in.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fueling side of things, was that something that was new to you, or were you familiar with macros and all that?
Yeah, I was familiar with macros. I worked with a nutritionist during pre-injury time. I worked with a nutritionist and got myself, you know, really lean. I was down to about I'd say about 8.5% body fat at one time.
Nice.
And I wasn't able to, I got there and then immediately lost it. Like, I was like, I can't sustain this. Like, I was cutting really heavily. So I knew how to go through macros. I knew how to check my macros. So when I was done working with that nutritionist, you know, I tried to do it on my own, which a lot of the times, even though I'm a coach, coaches need coaching as well. So because I didn't have that with me anymore, I was like jumping around. I wouldn't give myself a lot of time to like allow the macros to really work its way in. So I would do it for like 2 weeks. I'm like, it's not working. Let's change it up. Let's go to something else. So I was like, my body was probably talking to me, being like, what the hell are you doing to us? You know, like I'm jumping. I'm like, I'm going to do low carb. Now I'm going to do carb cycling. Now I'm going to just do carnivore. Like I was all over the place with these things. So, you know, so coming to here and really talking to Travis, and we, you know, helping me to stick with a certain diet plan to where now I'm not shredding a lot, but I carb cycle. I do Wednesdays high carb and Saturdays are high carb days, and then the rest of the time it's very moderate. But it's a lot easier now because going through and learning the fuel phases that Travis has us go through, it does make it a lot easier and more sustainable to accomplish your fuel. Especially with pre-planning. So before my next day comes, plan out my entire day fuel. I took all the guesswork out of the entire day. I know what to eat, when to eat, how to eat it, and now I'm done. So I don't have to. There's nothing else to do after that. And if I do that 4 days out of my week and have the same things, then I got 4 days out of 7 done. I've taken a lot of the legwork out of it.
Yeah, planning it's like magic. Once you really buy into that, it's like it's not only good for your work life and for your regular schedule, but with the fuel.
Yeah,
it ties it all together.
I tell a lot of my athletes at my gym, I'm like, what we're doing, think of it as a pyramid, and nutrition is the entire base of what we do. If you don't have your nutrition right, you're going to suffer more in your workouts, and you're not going to get you're still going to get good workouts, but you're not going to get better like you want to be. You can still be, hitting, personal records and running faster here and there. But if you have your nutrition dialed in, just think of how much further you can go.
Absolutely.
So, that's what we do in our gyms is, a very small percentage of our entire day, where the rest of our day, we're constantly being hit with temptations of food and alcohol, throughout the entire day. Every other ad that I see on Facebook or Instagram is about a new restaurant or a new food that's out there, beers and liquors that are all being, brewed now. Because the cool thing to do is to run breweries and have, wine shops and things like that. So the temptation's always there, and it's always gonna be there. It's just, what are you working towards? Absolutely. It took a while for me to learn that I'm not eating arbitrarily just to satiate myself. I'm eating to fuel my body for what I want to do and where I want to go.
Absolutely. And there's only so long you get to treat yourself like a garbage can when you eat. Maybe early 20s if you're lucky, and get away with it and be able to perform well and look halfway decent.
I did that a lot in my 20s.
Yeah,
I did that a lot in my 20s, especially growing up in New York City. It's in my eyes, the pizza capital. So, every Friday night it was nonstop, eating garbage and stuff. And once I graduated high school, that's when it really got bad because I was working at a Wendy's and I was closing the store. So anything that's left over in their drawers and cabinets, I was like, oh, it's free. They're going to throw it out. I'm taking it home.
Yeah.
I didn't care. And, that's eventually how I ballooned up to close to 300 pounds.
Yeah. The extra large Mountain Dew to go with that,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I can't be that bad. It's a liquid. It doesn't have anything in it.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Yeah. What did I know?
Awesome. Well, I think another thing I took out of what you were talking about there with the fuel was just getting that consistent and sticking with it made all the difference in the world for you compared to before when you're just kind of bouncing around from idea to idea, which is, I feel like it's natural for a whole lot of us. I certainly done that with both eating and training plans and, over the years before. So I feel that 100%. Like, why? It's been 3 days. It's not working. Let's try something else.
Yeah, nothing's happening. There's no movement on the scale. I might as well just give up now. Like, bring on the beer and pizza. Yeah. We'll call it a day.
I'm up 1 pound. It's over.
Yeah. Exactly. Believe me, I've had those days where it's like I've gone up a pound or half a pound and I'm ready to throw the scale through the window. I'm like, how could this be happening? I'm killing myself right now. But you got to give it time for your body to adjust what you're doing to it. Our bodies are very interesting in how they can adapt to something quickly and how they can almost fight you in what you're trying to achieve. It's like, no, we don't want you to put us on a certain diet plan or a certain macro plan. We want what we want because you've conditioned your body to such. And, you know, food is like a drug, and your body can be addicted to these things. You know, when you see something that you normally would have at any other time, you know, your body starts sending signals back. Come on, you can do it. And it starts tricking you. It's like, you deserve it. You worked hard all week. Why not? Go ahead.
Oh, the stories. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got to constantly fight with yourself, but it gets easier the more you do it. Repetition is everything with nutrition and fuel. You know, the workouts, that's actually, for me, the easy part is the workouts. It's all the nutritional stuff that gets to be the hardest stuff. But like I said, practice and repetition, you know, it gets better.
Yeah, and getting yourself in the right mindset. And I think for me, I think mindset is probably the biggest part of this whole program, more than strength and conditioning, more than the fuel itself. It's, you know, once you get your mind in the right place, everything else comes together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My mind, when I started this program, I thought, you know, going to this program, I was just going to be getting workouts and a macro plan. And little did I know how much mindset work and how much I learned about myself through this, through going through everything with Travis and the Forge Father program. The lessons that I've learned and the skills that I've learned are invaluable. And there's something that I'm going to take with me the rest of my life. You know, really diving in and understanding why I became the way I became, but then ways that I can continue to be a better father, a better husband, a better athlete, you know, better professional. You know, really understanding that what I'm doing now is what I'm going to leave behind in the future. So why not make the most of it now? So when I look back on my, you know, my time now, or knock on wood, when I'm not here anymore, people will be like, you know, Frank left his mark. You know, we will remember him because of X, Y, and Z. And I want those things to be that I was hardworking, I was a motivator, and I was a caring and loving individual towards my friends and family. You know, that's what I really want to leave behind when I'm no longer here. And I really think that right now I'm really in a place that I'm working on that constantly, but I'm at a place right now where I feel like I am doing it. That, you know, I have a great relationship with my wife. We constantly tell each other that we're each other's best friends. Yeah. My kids are doing great. My son Jet is 6 and my daughter Finley is 3, and they're my world. I love them to death, and I think they are now starting to see what Daddy does, and you know, they want to come to the gym with us. When we go to the gym, they want to come with us. They'll even ask us on days that we don't think we're going. They'll be like, "Are we going to the gym today?" And I'll have to tell them, like, "No, we're gonna work out in the garage today, so we're gonna be doing home stuff." They're like, "Oh," because they like being around in that environment, and we have a lot of like-minded people around there. So my kids are starting to really understand and see, you know, what Daddy does. And, you know, that's something that I really want to continue to nurture, that I want my kids to see me, you know, as a motivating person for not just them, but for other people too. That, you know, Daddy has people that look up to him and come to him for advice or motivation or guidance or whatever it may be. And I have this thought in my head that, you know, eventually my kids will probably do a project one day about, you know, who's your hero and things like that. And selfishly, I'd like it for them to, like, you know, be like, my daddy's my hero.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I wish it into existence, because I don't want to be that selfish about it, but I just want my kids to know that I'm always going to be there, you know, for them. And I want them to see that what I'm doing matters as well.
Absolutely. And if they do say that you're their hero, which I'm sure they will, is, you know, you're actively you're worthy of it, right? You know, you're being worthy of that title, you know, and not, you know, well, daddy's my hero and you're like off drunk on the couch or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and speaking of giving advice and training people, I forget the exact words you were just talking about. That was a horrible segue. But now you have become, over the last 6 months, the head strength coach. I don't know if there's an official title for you, but you're
so
within
we've
Forged Father.
we've kind of gone back and forth with what my exact title is, but I think we've come down to the director of fitness and performance. So I now work with alongside Travis in coming up with different parts of our program that we do, coming up with our different challenges that we do. Right now, as we're talking, we're doing Hero Strong. So we're doing hero workouts every Saturday through July 4th. And so, you know, he and I came up with what workouts we're going to do and how we're going to program them in. And then I also get to talk one-on-one with guys. I get to talk to them during their fitness onboarding. I get them set up on their fitness track, what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be attacking it. And then I get to check in with all these guys. I get to talk with people all over the world. A couple of our guys in the program, and some of them are outside the United States. We have one guy that's stationed in Japan that I got to talk to recently. That was really cool. And finding a community of guys that I get to talk to on a regular basis now that either are in the same shoes as me or were in the same shoes as me, it's been really gratifying and really fulfilling. And I kind of just came upon the idea of working for Forged Father one day. I think it was October last year. So I wasn't even in the program, but for 4 months. And I talked with Travis and I told him, I said, I have a goal right now. And he's like, what's that? I said, I have a goal. I want to work for you. I said, I want to work for the Forged Father one day. Little did I know that it was going to be, a month later, I'm out in Omaha working with Travis. We're going over things for a weekend. And he's like, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to run by you. And he, came to me with this idea of bringing me on as the fitness coach with Forged Father. And I looked at my wife when I told her about it. I'm like, is this for real? I was like, is this really happening? Because this is everything I've wanted, that I want to work full time in the world of fitness. And working with Forged Father right now, I'm on my way to doing that. I still work a regular 9-to-5 job. But between working with Forged Father and then working at my local gym as well, I'm really starting to cultivate opportunity here that I'm going to be able to work for myself at some point, and continuing working with Forged Father and talking with all these guys across the country. It's been a blessing, because 2 years ago, I didn't think I'd be doing something like this, working with a company and work with I don't like to use the word boss, because I feel like Travis is a peer of mine, but the buck's got to stop somewhere. So he's the boss. Yeah. But working with Travis in a professional capacity has been very gratifying for me. And I look forward to doing more with Forged Father in the future. We're working on things right now that's probably going to happen here in the near future. And the opportunities I don't take lightly, and I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. That anything that's going to be thrown my way for this, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I put anytime I send out a text message to like a group of guys or to one of my athletes, I end it with LFG. I'm like, let's fucking go. I was like, because I just want to do this. You have goals, I have goals. Let's fucking go. So that's just the way I feel that things have come along and they're going in the direction that I used to just dream about, and now they're actually happening.
Awesome stuff. Well, as we close this out, I guess one more big question for you here is, if you are talking to a guy that's seen those emails, seen that Facebook ad for Forge Father, and the guy's just kind of sitting on the fence, not sure what to do, what would you say to that guy? What would you have to say to him?
I would tell them that first, book the call. Book the call. What do you have to lose? Same thing with me. What do you have to lose? You may not have anything to lose, but you have everything to gain. And getting yourself to a place to where you could be happier, you could be healthier, and you could be fortifying your legacy in this world, that's going to be the most gratifying thing that you may ever do. That you will feel accomplished because you will be putting in the work, but you will be surrounded by like individuals that are in the same shoes as you, that are striving and working towards their goals and achieving their goals. The people out there that are going to tempt you otherwise, that, oh, I can buy a $25 book and get all this information. It's completely different because it's not built specifically for you. What we do here in the Forge Father is built specifically for your needs, wherever you are in. If you weigh too much and you want to lose weight, or if you're looking to be a better athlete, or if you're looking to be a better father, we program everything according to you. I say make the call, because you have nothing to lose but everything to gain.
Awesome. No better ending than that right there. So Frank, thank you so much for coming on, taking the time, and sharing your story. And this was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Adam. I enjoyed just chatting along with you and sharing my story a bit.
All right. Awesome, man. Have a good one.
Thanks.